2 blazing saddles is an achievement in Bloons Tower Defense 6 where you need to get 2 million or more saddles with a single tower. Today we're going to be doing this achievement of the 2 Megapops with the Blazing Sun, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not looking forward to this. It's mainly because of the fact that if you're only wanting to pop one target, then Desperado is perfectly fine with the top cross path. If you want to pop more than one target at a time, you're better off with any other tower. Like a base dart monkey. Yeah, I don't think the Blazing Sun is quite S tier. In fact, I'd actually honestly put Golden Justice or the Desert Phantom closer to S tier than the Blazing Sun would ever be. It's more like a blazing candlestick. And it's not even blazing, it's just a little flicker. Obviously no disrespect to anybody who absolutely loves the Blazing Sun. I think the artwork just absolutely slaps with the flaming revolvers obviously, but performance wise it's just not very good. Right, let's get ourselves up to the stage where we can put down Geraldo, and there he is just before the beginning of round 13. Give that little bit of XP up and running. Now in a 2 Megapops sense, getting Wanderer is just 235, just completely wasted unless you're going for the Desert Phantom. Because you want your village, you want your glue gunners nearby in order to support your Desperado, and unfortunately if those aren't available because you're relying on the Wanderer's speed increase and your rate of fire, then that's not really good. But then again, we're not really benefiting from the fact that we can't even use quick draw and standoff very well in this scenario. We need to increase our range in order to actually benefit from this side and this side over here. Now, there's just too many targets for Desperado to try and get through. We'll get Big Iron now and Eagle Eye so that we don't have to worry about round 24. It's quite a cheap cost in order to get your Desperado up to where you can see through the veil and see the camouflaged ones. Again, artwork absolutely slaps. This is probably my favorite top cross path artwork. It just looks so cool. Such a cool artwork. Round 24. Alright, barbed darts and heat tip darts because round 28 exists and we're going to need something in order to pop the lead balloons later on. Even though this has pseudo lead popping potential, all you gotta do is just waste lots of bullets in order for your pistols to start flaming hot, and then obviously they'll catch a light, both the revolver and the balloons, and then from there you'll be able to set alight the camo leads or leads and be able to pop them. I'd rather have something a bit more consistent, thank you very much, and unfortunately Desperado, I think, is the most RNG tower in the entire game, especially when you're relying on Bullseye to get crits upon targets, because it feels like the variables in order to get crits are incredibly random, regardless of what cross-pathing you get. Even though we haven't failed yet, I feel like that is going to turn south very fast, very soon. So we're going to get ourselves some glue gunners over here. One in which is going to be a middle path, and 2 which is going to be a bottom path. Now, can I hit a village over here? No, I can't, so I'm going to restart this round. Well, I'm going to put you as a submersion support because I don't want you stealing a lot, even though that is going to be an inevitability. We're going to need you for a fair few more steals, and it feels like we're in an endless loop at the moment when it comes to trying to pop everything. Thank you. In some ways, having glue gunners are very helpful, but I think what is unique to Desperado and relying on quick draw and stakeout is the fact that maybe you want the balloons to pass through. Maybe you don't want me to stick around in Desperado's radius for a long time because it will hamper any attack speed boosts that it would get from quick draw and standoff. Sorry, I said stakeout for some odd reason. Did I wake up and choose violence today? No, the violence life chose me, and we are going to absolutely die to something at some point in the future, and that balloon is going to be... Congratulations, you're not a yellow balloon. Then it shall be said, unsubmerge the submarine, and if you're enjoying what you are seeing so far, then please consider hitting that submarine scribe button down below. No, it honestly says submarine scribe. I'm not making it up. Just imagine it, okay? Imagine that it says submarine scribe and then hit that button. And then, but you won't submerge like a submarine though. And that's a good thing. I do not want you dear subscribers under the water. For those who are not subscribed, I don't want you under the water as well either. But we need more help for this round. Honestly, I think sharpening stone is just a waste of money because your set's just one pierce anyway. So what can you do with sharpening stone on your one pierce designed to only have one pierce tower? Like, it's beneficial for your bottom cross path, but that is about it. And I think at some point or another, I think this can't get it. Doesn't say that it can pop frozen balloons, so maybe you can still equip it with a sharpening stone, which is then the only beneficial thing, because this thing is a blunderbuss that spreads, and it's not a pistol, a dinky little pistol that only hits one target at a time. Welcome to the Pierce competition. On contestant number 1, the Blazing Sun. Contestant number 2, a basic dart monkey, just an unupgraded one. Which one of these has more pierce? Guess what it is. It's the base dart monkey, so I bet wins by 1 pierce. Alright, there's so many balloons around. Oh gosh, there's still these pink balloons left. No thanks. Yellow, you know what? I'll submerge you and hopefully you can do with the rest. It's not exactly high noon, but we can just about fit a village in here, which is what we needed. And unlike my Desert Phantom to Megapops, I actually have just noticed that yes, we are playing with a primary tower. I completely didn't think about that when going into that scenario, thinking that I could actually benefit it using primary training and mentoring. Right, let's leave this up to you in order to hopefully then be able to pop the leads over here, then unsubmerge. I kind of need you to hit the other leads here, thank you very much. Okay, we'll leave them to it since they're glued. Please pop them all. No. The concept is lovely, but the execution is crap. Alright, no thank you, lead balloons. I absolutely do not like this one bit. Not one bit do I like this scenario at all. Glue gun is cleaning up so much. Feels like the first 2 upgrades of this are just absolutely wiped off the map at the moment. Please just pop everything. I guess you're not going to be able to do so, especially with these ceramics coming up. Ceramics? Oh no, I don't see this going through at all. We're going to get to the ceramics and they're just going to have many, many, many children that will spawn out. I'm surprised yellow blues didn't leak there, but they were glued. Right, will this do? Oh wait. Fumbling like the fools we are. Right, that does it. I'm giving you pickles as well. But I'm going to need to unsubmerge you again just to pop that one lead balloon. Oh, it's the children of that ceramic I'm more concerned about. Oh, I kind of preferred you if we did higher damage. Why did I unsubmerge you at all? Right, that's round 38 done and dusted. Just give us some pickles and just unleash hell with your submarine. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to buy this. I know we are relying on Geraldo to get us over the line. I know, a very classic strategy, but you know what? We are dealing with a tower that absolutely does not have any pierce outside of the target that it initially hit. So, therefore, we are using a perfectly liable strategy in order to actually get through a scenario. But once we do get the Blazing Sun, we do not want to equip the Jerry's Fire at all. And that is because of the fact that on round 79, or even like round 76, this can solo ceramics, but if we end up making a lot of balloons because the Jerry's Fire is actually popping a lot of the ceramics and turning them down into children of the ceramics, which then can regrow out of control, well, this thing cannot actually keep up, so we don't want the Jerry's Fire for round 76. So once we get the upgrades in which we need. We're going to get Twin Sixes next, which is going to be a bit of a breath of fresh air, really. Well, compared to the big iron, it's going to be. Has anybody done a 2 Megapops for big iron? Here we go. Twin Sixes has been unleashed. Okay, Twin Sixes. Oh, Chocolate Bar's done one on logs. For goodness sakes. They've also done the Blazing Sun on another brick of all maps. Right, oh my god, my fire has run out. I've just realised that my Jerry's fire has officially ran out of flames. We need to get it back. For more reasons than one. Yeah, this is a tower where the artwork outshines the performance of the tower itself. This cooked, but this, despite the fact that it looks like it is absolutely torturing a balloon alive, is more of a tickle motion. All primary monkeys in range get more pierce, lovely, pierce, or projectile speed won't actually benefit the top cross path of the Desperado because it's only fixed to have one pierce to begin with. The bullets are not designed to go through bullets. I mean, go through balloons. It just hits the target and then that is that. That is all that she wrote, folks, for round 49. And we're going to need another frame. I also just thought that we don't want to have Jerry's Fire for round 61 because that has a huge number of regrows. 76, 79, 61, and any other really heavy regrow rounds. Like 95 is not going to be much of a problem because past round 80, any ceramics that spawn down to children will not multiply. So basically, if you only partially damage it and then it regrows back, it doesn't break off into several balloons and then you have a regrow problem. We will get another Jerry's Fire and hopefully this will be the last one in which we will need to equip. Because when we get to round 60, it will be the case where this is going to be able to solo the BFB. Hopefully. Depends when we can get Blazing Sun though. Although with primary mentoring and primary training, we are just about be able to reach over here, which fully utilizes the quick draw and standoff upgrades in which we got for our top path Desperado, and we can now get the Blazing Sun. Welcome to Still One Pierce Gaming. Oh, no thank you. No thank you very much. We're definitely going to need that MIB if we want to continue this game without actually, well, encountering lead balloons and then just flopping hard. Yeah, with this upgrade on the village, we can fully utilize this spot for our tier 1 and tier 2 upgrades at times. It is momentary, but if we manage to get it so that the balloons are only over here and over here, then that is a pretty good thing in which we can do. Now the question is, shall I get a bounty hunter in order to be able to mark targets and then hopefully this will be able to do more damage against the bad, ready for round 100. Right, here we go. Here's a very surefire way in order to pop lead balloons without MIB. Just get yourself a couple of glue guns and hopefully this thing will be able to fire on us so that then it'll be able to pop everything. Just like that. Pseudo lead popping potential. And I think Desert Phantom has pseudo lead popping potential depending on if it can actually have its like blunderbuss be able to blow up like a mine. Its projectiles, I mean. I think the coolest one out of the 3 tier 5s for me so far, and is also my favorite, is the Golden Justice. I mean, this pathway here has enabled towers which have never had a 2TC before have a 2TC, including the biggest one and Striker Jones. Right, let's get MIB, and then I'm also going to get Moab glue on you, and then glue hose on you. I'm going to contemplate whether or not I'm going to need glue strike or not. Probably it's definitely helpful for like round 100, but overall, I think this has a pretty high amount of damage anyways, where the +2 damage is pretty inconsequential. Now, this is what I like to see, some good old-fashioned shooting. But we will give the Blazing Sun some extra range even more by going up to having a Dead-Eye Desperado. And in order to maintain 100% uptime, we're going to have 2 of them. Now, here's a thing that I learned from testing with the Bounty Hunter, and it's probably why I'm not going to get it. You have to actually have sight of targets in order to actually mark them. So if, let's say in these positions, it cannot see any balloons, it cannot use its tier 4 ability because it cannot see where to mark targets. However, it will steal a lot of pops if we unleash the ability itself. So it's handy on one hand, which I think would make it like embrittlement, where it's only helpful on round 100, otherwise it will steal too much. Okay, round 75 done and dusted. Now round 76. The reason why I don't want Jerry's Fire right now is because it will spawn so many children, but this thing cannot pop everything. Now, what's really odd about the Blazing Sun is its interactions with speed increases externally, like Call to Arms and Overclock, are really weird, because it doesn't increase the attack speed of the pistols themselves. It only increases the chamber speed in which the Blazing Sun reloads its pistol. So it's not the interaction that you think that it is when it comes to like any other tower, even like Golden Justice or the Desert Phantom, that benefits from Call to Arms and Ultra Boost normally. But Blazing Sun acts a bit differently, okay? I'll tell you what, this is quite satisfying to see actually, but when this BFB is here, it's gonna break the synergy here, and we're gonna struggle a little bit, although we're still able to maintain our fire rate to a certain degree. Lovely, lovely. Also, someone told me that with the Master Builder Paragon's overclock ability, the degree does matter depending on how long it has on the Paragon itself. So if you have a high enough degree, you have guaranteed 100% uptime on a chosen target. Right. If you go up to tier 4, it does give you a buff to take aim where you have further range, although in this case I don't think we need it. But it also enables your tower to temporarily be able to pop black balloons, white balloons and purple balloons if it doesn't have that means already. So it's really good synergy with, let's say, the Frigid's damage type, which cannot pop white or frozen balloons. But it's really good with the mortar, in particular with the top cross path, since it does 2 things that enables it to not be able to pop a camo balloon or a DT balloon, which is black popping and camo popping. What's really nice about update 49 is that the Absolute Zero's price has been buffed, as in it's dropped down in price, so you can get that means of slowing down balloons even sooner. And we're going to go for maximum slowdown over anything like Overclock or Call to Arms, but if we don't have enough spare money, then I will go with a Overclock. Right, here's round 82's end here. Yeah, when balloons are caught alight, it's pretty much game over for that particular ceramic. If we can maintain them at a distance, we are very, very good against them. But we still, inevitably, at the end of the day, only have 1 pierce, which is not good at all. I know I said it multiple times throughout the video, but it's just not a good trade to have, especially if you're looking to get the 2 Megapops achievement with this tower. It's just not what you call there. And now actually you can put on your Jerry's Fire and it doesn't matter because you don't have any regrow problems from this given point onwards. Like, there are obviously regrow balloons, but it's not the same aspect as like round 79 regrow balloons, where they just multiply. That will cause your PC to crash. As I think about it, while your chambers are on fire, it would be ideal to put your tower on last while it can alternate between different targets while being on last, because of the fact that you can set multiple balloons alight in one sequence, which is really good. They say Desperado shoots so fast them revolvers catch light. And you know red goes fast because it's an aggressive color. It means that your weapon goes really fast. Trying to do that accent's been giving me a horrendous cough, so I'm not going to do that again, okay? I think Geraldo is really safe here, being protected by 2 ninjas and 2 snipers. Catch 'em alive, please. Give 'em some good old-fashioned damage and 6 shooting. Do you like a tower that has a really inconsistent damage profile, in which when you do one run, it is entirely rubbish, but when you do another run, it is very, very fruitful? Well, I have the tower for you. I suppose that makes the Blazing Sun particularly unique. Or if you pursue Bullseye in general, it makes it particularly unique. But unique doesn't always mean good. Right, let's put down 2 more ninjas. 1 here and 1 here. And I just hope that they do not steal too many pops. Although I think when Mug Balloons come along here, then one down there as well. They will be able to steal. They will be able to steal, definitely. Although a good spot over here is that the balloons will be affected by the aura of the Absolute Zero, but obviously it cannot pop over here with the balloons because of the blockade. But the blockade itself is not affecting the aura of the Absolute Zero. If you get what I mean. We're halfway there to the devil's number. Right, we're dealing with the absolute behemoth. That is all of the all of the BFBs on that round. We are now proceeded on to one of the rounds that I am not really looking forward to. Round 92. A huge number of fortified BFBs. They're all incredibly quick at times, it feels like, especially in a 2TC scenario. And honestly, I'd rather not think about some scenarios that involves this. Honestly, I think I've had a more enjoyable time using a tower when it was actually when I did the 2 Megapops run with double gun. I know this thing does more damage than double gun. I just found it to be particularly a bit more enjoyable, honestly, and a bit more high stakes. But I love the concept of this tower. I think it hasn't really executed really well among the community. Like, the artwork slaps, we can all agree with that, but the performance, it really doesn't slap. And there goes round 92 in a blazing glory. Right. This is definitely not what we call Arena Fire. No, no, no. That belongs to another tower. Although with the help of MIB, we can also damage duties with our attacks, rather than the indirect form of our direct attacks. I don't know what Sharpening Stone would do for us here, but you know what? We're going to equip it because we can equip it. And I also think that we would hinder from using pickles. Probably not as hindrance on a fortified target, but just a hindrance in general. Well, I think we'll get Relentless Glue and Glue Strike while we're at it. And I think this is all the setup in which we need in order to get through this scenario. I know there's no overclock and no call to arms at the moment. What the hell? Is this even a 2 Megapops run? Yes, with very powerful towers, it can be done. Are you one of them, though? Please go on down, balloons, to the nearest target practice so that we can target practice on balloons when it comes to a real balloon scenario. Though this is one, so I don't know why I'm saying it. I honestly think this would have gone a lot differently if we resorted to more attack speed over slowdown, because we need more or less of a slowdown rather than the increased attack speed when it comes to a scenario like this, where again we only have 1 pierce to begin with. Well, congratulations, our balloon sabotage down here has acquired over 100 pops. This one's none. This one's not getting any pops on them. And, okay, these 2 haven't got any pops. So maybe it's the angle which I equip this thing at, which is enabling it to have some pops. Maybe it was BFBs that enabled it to get that. But you know what? We're absolutely fine. And I don't think I need to use anything else for this round. Okay, Geraldo. You know what? I'm going to equip you now since you are at level 19, which means we can do +1 damage to camo balloons, but that's not really hugely important here because they can just be decamoed anyways thanks to the wonderful submersion support in which we have relied on throughout this entire run. Oh, okay. This is not looking very good. This is not very blazing glory. Blazing glory. We were promised glory. As very heroic cowboys, we are promised blazing glory thanks to our own predecessors also having some blazing glory with their twin 6-shooters. I'm not feeling the blazing glory here. It feels more like an ice age. Last few deities here, hopefully we'll be able to defeat them without any issues. Thanks to MIB, we're able to actually get through them and not be absolutely bogged down by our sharp damage type. And there goes the rest of round 95, just like that. With a few steals here and there, which is not very cool, but it's just one of those things which we need to live with. This is 2 Megapops, not an all pop scenario. I actually think it's impossible to get an all pops with any of the Desperados. Like, statistically impossible because you cannot actually hold out the balloons for enough time or enough rounds really to where you can actually get to the upgrades in which this thing can become self-reliant upon just its own merits and being able to then rely on external towers in order to slow down balloons and enhance your own capabilities. Like, you just can't get the money in a CHIMPS scenario to do that. That is a lot of Moabs here just spawning at the same time. I think once these become lit, they do have a small AoE, which is okay, but it is not really helpful when it comes to keeping the balloons like separated at the back rather than launching themselves towards the exit here, which is what I'm kind of thinking right now. But that's that little threat taken care of, but we do have other concerns at hand here. Oh gosh, oh my god, we're separating the ZMGs too quickly. Yeah, the AoE is kind of having a bounce off effect where it's good when it comes to damage, but when it comes to being able to control the scenario, not very much so. It takes us all of this kind of map here to even have a chance of doing this, whereas other people are able to do it on much harder maps, probably without the difficulties in which I'm having. Right, we end off round 96. Round 97 should be a breeze since there's only a few targets to hit. I mean, they are very hard to take down targets, but when you only have 1 pierce, damage is everything. Yeah, really quickly we can take down the first ZOMG here, not a problem whatsoever. The insides, on the other hand, now that's a different question altogether. I can already tell from the portrait of this Desperado, if he ever had a coffee, he would never ever let it go cold. Like ever. Ever. And I respect that. Because I myself never like drinking coffee cold. It just tastes so rank when it's gone cold. Maybe that's just me. Like, obviously, iced coffee is different, but I'm talking about a coffee that has started hot, but then gone cold. Although in other aspects like this, when it comes to trying to ignite multiple balloons, that when a lot of targets are close to the blazing sun, I think you could just set it on close so that it can hopefully go back and forth between the left and right hand side of the tower itself, so that it kind of like has this means of trying to ignite multiple targets at the same time, which could be very beneficial towards taking down some of these weaker targets. But it does feel like we need our balloon sabers back at some point. Would you stop stealing pops? Just thought of it now. The only reason why we would want to get call to arms is to enhance the capabilities of our Jerry's Fire here, which does increase in pierce when you give it call to arms and its attack speed. But you know what? Let's do this without an overclock and an MIB. And things so far are looking pretty good. Like, I'm not worried at all about our chances here. But you do get higher fire damage when it comes to coating the balloons with a glue strike. We don't even need glue storm, to be honest. Unless we want to maintain that constant coating of glue on them for some extra damage, but That can sometimes be a double-edged sword because of pairing it with Absolute Zero. Okay, well, you are able to attack if there are lots of BFBs and ZMGs nearby, but it's only a very minuscule opportunity for you to attack. How dare you get 4 pops? I honestly feel like we would be struggling for Winter of Overclock and Quarter Arms before getting anything like these, to be honest. Also, these have been very helpful as well. Like, we don't need the additional range that Bounty Hunter gives, even though we would always take extra range, then not extra range, but I just don't think we need it. I think what we've got here is all that we need in order to confirm to get through this scenario. And Fortified DDTs, would you please just pair together very nicely with the help of Relentless Glue? Not gonna need it, not gonna need it, not gonna need it. Keep you on strong so that you're always targeting these fortified goddamn DDTs over here. And how the hell did you just lose your glue from the Relentless Glue? Oh, I know why, because your time has been halved on Moab class balloons. I think the improved formula can be stricken down from its description because it's only slightly improved on the thing that it's designed to stick to. I've already gone about this rant in my Desert Phantom 2 Megapops video, but I think the changes they made to the glue gunner in certain aspects were completely unnecessary, and it's just designed that Ninja QE is acknowledgement that there are multiple people that pursue these kind of runs, including myself on the 2TC scene and 2 Megapop scene, and sometimes it feels like, well, they try and take it so that certain towers cannot be done anymore. Anyways, this thing over here is going to be absolutely going down here. There's no chance in hell in which this will be able to escape our grasp. We can confidently do this with what we have here. This is a very, very good single target damage dealer, and luckily it can set alight this behemoth over here, and hopefully it will take us home. We don't need pickles, we don't need you stealing anything. Please take it down at some point. You will be able to take it down. Most certainly. There we go. We took it down just fine like that. I don't know why I unleashed the second salvo though. I think it was just because of those ceramics. Yeah, we're igniting these UMGs, so it should be able to be popped at some point just like that. And yeah, just like that. We have definitely completed this scenario with 37k left in the bag. No need to spend any more. Just spending it for clout's sake. ZMG, go down to BFB, and this game has been setted and mashed. Now, if you could think of a scenario where the Bounty Hunter's unique ability in comparison to Deadeye actually makes some kind of non-stealing scenario, then please let me know. But I think in order to activate Bounty Hunter, you have to have a clear line of sight, and you are it doesn't matter how far away the balloons are, this thing will still be able to pop them anyways, which is not what you call a good scenario if you're looking for it to only benefit your Desperado, in which you want to get 2 Megapops with. That's not the Bounty Hunter that you put in place, in order to help that Desperado out and it doesn't steal. But I think it has to steal in order to activate. So anyways, 2,035,000 pops undercounted. Now that is really bizarre. How did I undercount here? Should have another 400 so or something. But anyways, everybody, hope you all have a lovely bit of 7th anniversary of Balloons Tower Defense 6 cake right here. I have not encountered a Desperado Insta-Monkey. For goodness sakes, was it even on the cycle, or is it because of the fact that the birthday event it started before the Desperado Tower came out? So yeah, I think the best chance that you get is to play on a primary only mode to get around 100, at least 2 or 3 times hopefully, and hopefully you'll be able to get yourself a Desperado reward from there. But if the chances are very thin, since there are other towers which are primary, like 6 other towers, so your chances are 1 in 7 to get a Desperado of your wanting. And that at the moment is all of them. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care of yourselves, everybody.